What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to wrap up another week of John Wayne Westerns with The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, starring the Duke himself, John Wayne, James Stewart, Vera Miles, Lee Marvin, Edmund O'Brien, Andy Devine, John Carradine, and Denver Pyle. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, today we're going to wrap up yet another week of John Wayne Westerns, and today we're going to discuss The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And our movie begins in the late 19th or early 20th century as United States Senator Rance Stoddard and his wife Hallie arrive in Shinbone, a frontier town in an unnamed western state, in order to attend the funeral of Tom Donovan. When asked by the local newspaper why a senator would attend the funeral of a poor rancher, Stoddard answers with a story that flashes back 25 years. When originally entering the territory as a young lawyer, Rance is beaten and robbed by the infamous outlaw Liberty Valance and his gang. Tom Donovan and his handyman Pompey find Rance and they take him to Shinbone, where Tom's then girlfriend Hallie treats his wounds. Rance learns that Valance frequently terrorizes Shinbone and the surrounding country, since the local marshal, Link Appleyard, is too cowardly to stop him. Tom says that Valance only understands force, but Rance is determined to bring Valance through justice through the law. While he establishes his practice in Shinbone, Rance busses tables at Peter Erickson's steakhouse, where Hallie also works, and he befriends Dutton Peabody, the editor of the Shinbone Star newspaper. After learning that Hallie is illiterate, Rance opens up a school for children as well as adults in the back of the newspaper's office. He also begins practicing with Peabody's old gun after Valance bullies him inside of the restaurant. Now Hallie, who is attracted to Rance and is also concerned for his safety, tells Tom of Rance's gun practice. So Tom takes Rance to his ranch for a shooting lesson, in the process showing off the renovations that are intended for his marriage to Hallie, and he makes those intentions perfectly clear to Rance. During the lesson, he tricks Rance by shooting a paint can that is above his head, causing it to spill and stain his clothes. Tom then tells Rance that he can expect the same kind of trickery from Liberty Valance, causing Rance to angrily punch Tom before he leaves. Shinbone's men meet up to elect 2 delegates to the upcoming statehood convention at the territory capital. Tom refuses Rance's nomination, and ultimately, Rance and Peabody are elected. Meanwhile, Valance, who was hired by the cattle barons who oppose statehood, fails to intimidate the voters into selecting him. Valance then challenges Rance to a gunfight, while Tom offers to assist Rance in leaving town, but Rance stubbornly declines. That evening, Valance and his gang vandalize the newspaper office and severely injure Peabody for reporting Valance's murder of a local farmer. Rance then arms himself and goes after Valance. Even drunk, Valance easily disarms the inexperienced Rance and prepares to kill him. Rance is able to retrieve his gun and he shoots, and Valance falls dead. Rance returns to Erickson's, where Hallie treats his arm. Tom enters and he sees Hallie's affection for Rance as she attends to his wounds. So he gets drunk and forces Marshal Appleyard to run Valance's men out of town. Tom then attempts suicide by setting fire to his own home, but Pompey rescues him. At the territorial convention, Rance is nominated for delegate to Congress, but withdraws after a representative of the cattle barons accuses him of building a career out of murdering a man. Tom arrives just in time and he explains to Rance that it was he who killed Valance. Tom knew that Rance could not beat Valance, so he shot Pompey's rifle at the exact same time that Rance fired his handgun. Tom then encourages Rance to accept the nomination for Hallie's sake before quietly walking out of the convention. Back in the present, Rance's rising political achievements of state governor, senator, ambassador to the United Kingdom, and likely vice presidential nominee in the upcoming election fill in the intervening years. The editor then decides that publishing the story would ruin Rance's legacy, so he burns his notes and leaves Rance to conduct Tom's funeral. When Rance asks why, the editor says, when legend becomes fact, you print the legend. On the return trip to Washington, D.C., Rance contemplates retiring to Shinbone, which pleases Hallie. As he thanks the train conductor for the railroad's courtesies, the conductor replies, "Nothing's too good for the man who shot Liberty Valance," and our movie comes to its close. This was one I was definitely curious to check off my list, even if I never watch another John Wayne movie after I'm done with this month. This was one I really wanted to see because I'm a fan of Jimmy Stewart, and a lot of the John Wayne movies I'm seeing are actually pretty decent. Are they great? No. Are they better than I anticipated going in? Definitely. This is definitely one of the ones that is the better of the bunch. And it's also the first time, at least as far as the movies that I've seen, where I have noticed John Wayne use the term pilgrim quite frequently. I maybe I'm mistaking this with the one I'm going to review on Monday because I've watched a lot of them so recently, but it's either this one, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, or the one I'm going to review on Monday, The Sons of Katie Elder. It was the first time where I really noticed John Wayne use his trademark pilgrim over and over in the movie. And it was kind of cool because you go through these movies and you know of the John Wayne impressions like, "How's it going, Pilgrim?" That type of stuff. And it's like all the movies I've seen so far, didn't hear him say it once. And again, forgive me, overload of movies lately. It was either this one, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, or The Sons of Katie Elder, which I'm going to do on Monday. One of those two was the one where I first heard it and noticed it the first time because he used it so much in the movie. But that's neither here nor there because that doesn't have any bearing on how or why I enjoyed this movie. This movie was perfectly paced. It at most it could have shaved off maybe 10 minutes. At most. This was another one that went just about 2 hours, but in comparison to the other ones, it didn't feel like 2 hours. It was a good paced story. The story had meaning, the characters were well acted, the cinematography was great, the music was awesome. Lee Marvin did a great job as Liberty Valance, the heel for the movie. You know, John Wayne as the the main as Tom, and Jimmy Stewart as Rance just did a great job with everybody in this film. And it's definitely one that I need to acquire now on home media, add to my collection as I continue to add more and more movies to my library. I mean, you guys see every week on the Warzone all the stuff that I find, and while some of that stuff may end up getting resold or donated, or some of it ended up being doubles, I can tell you with pretty certainty here that I didn't own any John Wayne movies going into this month. And there's definitely a handful now that I want to add to my collection because I did enjoy them that much. And The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is one of those movies. When it comes to my rating for The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely has room to grow in rating the more times that I watch it. But for the first time out, I'm giving this 4 out of 5 stars. And I really think that John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart had great chemistry together. I believe this is the only one they did together, and that's a shame because they had great chemistry. I would have loved to have seen a series of movies of these two together. But I digress. What do you guys think of The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And it's new release Saturday. So we're going back to the multiplex and we're going to take a look at the classic Judy Blume story, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Starring Abby Ryder Fortson, Rachel McAdams, Elle Graham, Amari Alexis Price, Catherine Kupfer, Kathy Bates, Echo Kellum, Isol Young, and Benny Safdie. And then, of course, later on in the evening, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, it'll be time once again for the Saturday night shenanigans that are Open Mic Night. Myself, the Simple Man Noah Foster, the Heeb Man James Hebert will all be in the house. I believe the West Coast professor Jeff Meacham will be there. Don't quote me. And then, of course, whoever else from the crew decides to step through the door and up to the microphone will be there to engage you, the viewers, in discussion about the week of professional wrestling. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. New release Saturday, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Open Mic Night, and so much more still to come right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. So make sure you smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, or anytime we go live, as is the case with Stat Boy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE watch-along coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of John Wayne, fans of James Stewart, fans of Vera Miles, fans of Lee Marvin, fans of John Carradine. Anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them. It's the only way we're going to keep my visibility in YouTube's algorithms up now that we are, in fact, a monetized channel. Thank you once again to everybody who joined me and tuned in today. It means so much more to me than you guys will ever know. And I will see you guys next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.